Hey magical sparks, it's Sparkle. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be trying something very different because I'm going to be trying my best to step out of my comfort zone and draw something that I don't really draw that often. But if you're new, let me explain. Here is how my art currently looks. This is my current sketchbook, and as you can see, I like to draw a lot of humans. I use markers and colors, and sometimes I like to make these kind of semi-realistic pencil sketches, but today we're going to be going for something a little bit more different. But firstly, let's have a look at these cute gifts. The very first one is this rocket pen that lights up at the top. I think that is so cool. In fact, I don't think it's just cool. I think that this is epic. Also, the ink inside writes so smoothly and it's perfect. The very next thing is this adorable pencil case that actually stands up by itself, and the fabric that it's made of is so nice and soft to touch. And then there's this notepad. It has such a pretty pink cover, and then there's lots of different colored sheets inside. I love to take it when I'm drawing on the go, especially when I'm drawing outside. It's really nice. And then we have this notebook, which is so handy and adorable, and this really cool pencil case with even more gifts inside. We have a refillable eraser, a glittery ruler, and this very cool mechanical pencil kind of thing. And with every color or bubble you open up, there's even more sharpened lead inside, which is so handy and so useful. Also, it's just so colorful and pretty. I mean, who wouldn't love it? And now comes my favorite part. I was given this pencil sketching set as a gift as well, and I love it so much. It has the sketch pad inside and a whole bunch of art supplies. As you can see, there are 2 sharpeners and a lot of sketching pencils ranging from different hardnesses like 8B and 5H. There's also these charcoal pencils, so there is the soft one, and then there's medium and hard, and there's also this graphite soft pencil, and it looks so cool. I think the entire thing is lead, which makes it look even cooler. And here we have a snap-off blade or a snap-off knife. I've never used something like this in my art before, but I'm really curious to see what I can do with it. I also got my very first pencil extender in this set, which is generally used to extend pencils that are small after being used a lot. I didn't have one on hand, but just imagine this one is small. What the extender does is it kind of, well, extends the pencil and gives it more length. Next up, we have 3 different sizes of blending stumps, along with an eraser, 3 different blocks of lead, and 3 different blocks of charcoal of varying intensities, hard, medium, and soft. We also have sandpaper and a kneaded eraser. And now that we know what's in the set, of course I want to go ahead and try everything out, so let's do just that. So all of these gifts were actually from family, and I love them so much. My sister loves them so much, and honestly, I was so excited after I saw this pencil set that is what kind of inspired me to try and experiment with my art. Now, something else that I really loved was the packaging of these pencils, because if you're traveling and you want to draw, I think this is like perfect because it's so lightweight and easy to carry, easy to store, and just perfect in all ways. Now, I used to use charcoal pencils all the time back in the day, but I've never tried using these charcoal blocks, so this is definitely going to be a learning experience for me as well. So now that I've had my chance to play around with the art supplies, the time has come for me to make a drawing with them, and this drawing is going to be very different, like I said, because I'm going to be stepping outside of my comfort zone completely, from drawing humans to drawing animals, from using markers to using charcoal pencils, and from drawing in a pretty simple cartoonish style to now trying to draw in a semi-realistic to realistic style. As you can see, today I was really feeling brave enough to try something very different and film myself doing it and post a video about myself doing it. So let's see how it goes. So I'm starting it off with this sketch, and I'm using the graphite soft pencil because I really just wanted to try it out and see how it works, and it's really nice to hold and use, to be honest. And as you can see, I'm sketching out a wild cat. Now, at this point, it looks like a lioness or like a lion without a mane, but we're going for a tiger. Now, trust me on this. I'm just going to keep working on this drawing until it eventually looks like a tiger, and you're just going to have to trust me and trust that I'm going to make this work. Alright, so usually when I draw with charcoal pencils or just pencils in general, I kind of like to work on it bit by bit, adding shading as I go here and there. But since today I had already committed myself to experiment with my art and try different things, I thought let's do this a bit differently. So I wanted to go with the technique where you cover the entire drawing with a layer of light gray, and then you add shading on top and add the highlights on top of that. So to do that, the very first question is, how do I cover the entire thing with a layer of light gray? after some experimenting, I pretty much ended up going with the soft charcoal pencil. I covered the entire tiger with it and then used a tissue to smooth that out completely. So when I was coloring in the tiger, I pretty much tried my best to press lightly with the charcoal pencil and add the colors evenly. And then when I was using the tissue, I tried to press softly at first and use circular motions. Then I started to press harder, but the problem was that it doesn't look as smooth as I had envisioned. But here's the good thing, it's fur, and in the end, fur does not have to look perfectly smooth, so we're just going to work with it and gradually see what we end up with. And then I pretty much started adding shading here and there, starting with the nose, and then I kind of just worked my way up to the area around the eyes and the area around the mouth. Now here's the way I saw things at this point in time. So the way I saw it was that I had two options. The very first option was that I could work on the face part by part, but only move on to the next part once I completely finalize and finish the first part. And now that means things like adding the shading, adding the stripes, adding details for the fur, and things like that. Or the second option was that I would just go ahead and add shading for the entire tiger and then work on other things like the stripes and the fur and the background and things like that. So technically I did go with option 2, but at the same time, halfway through shading the face, I got a tiny bit bored. So I wanted to shake things up and I wanted to color in the background and see how that looks, and then continue with the rest of the shading. I mean, that's a good thing, right? Kind of jumping between parts sometimes. So that's what I did. Once I did half of the shading of the face and before I finished everything, I decided to go ahead and add the background. This was actually a good thing though, because it kind of gave me a sense of depth of where the shadows are meant to be and just the placement of things in general. So I guess that worked out pretty good. Now here's the thing. I knew that my desk was going to get messy and I regret not putting a piece of paper underneath to protect it. But just watch, because by the end of this video, my desk is gonna get so messy, and yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a catastrophe, but that's just part of the process when it comes to using charcoal and things like that. But in the end, what matters is whether I enjoyed the process, and as you can see, I am scribbling all over the page like a child, which means I am definitely enjoying the process. But in like all seriousness, shading in the background was so much fun. Like actually, that first layer, then the second layer, and just getting everything nice and smooth, it was so much fun. Logically, doing the background in the end would have been beneficial because my hands now will accidentally touch the charcoal and get it around in places. But like I said, I just wanted to see where the shadows are going to be placed, and adding in the background really just helped me to kind of visualize that even better. Okay, now you guys are actually lucky. You can just forward until the end and see the final drawing and see whether it was a success or a fail. But with me, because I didn't have that option in real life to just forward till the end of the video, I had to trust the process the entire way. And just look at our tiger right now. He's not looking like a tiger at all, but I still trusted the process, and I'm so happy I did because the final result honestly really surprised me. And the reason why it surprised me is because if you rewind and look at our initial sketch, or if you just take a moment to look at our tiger right now, the fact that he even ended up looking like a tiger in the end was amazing. But once I added the shading, just the entire process of drawing in the stripes was so much fun. I just had to block out the shape and then color it in and then repeat, and it was just so relaxing and fun. Also, I used to make charcoal pencil drawings a long time ago, but back then I didn't really know what I was doing that much. But this time I tried my best to add a lot of strong shadows and a lot of dark colors with the charcoal pencil. Now usually when I make realistic drawings with graphite pencils, you can see like the grayness of it, but this time I pressed really hard and I went for a nice solid black color, and I'm pretty proud of it in the end as well. I'm also happy I did this in this sketchbook and not my current sketchbook, because making this drawing on a smaller scale would have been a little bit more difficult for me. And with this sketchbook, because it was bigger, I could kind of go in and add those finer details as well without having to make them really small. And once I added the stripes, he started to look a bit more like a tiger. Then I added some smaller fur details with the pencil, and once I was happy with that, I grabbed a white gel pen and I used it to roughly add fur in places. So the very first this layer of white gel pen was not intended to be perfect or to look like fur. It was just meant to be placed throughout the drawing to give it some texture. And then I used the blending stump to pick up charcoal from the background and lay it on top of the white gel pen to kind of help it blend into the drawing. And then I just kind of repeated that process. I added some more white gel pen, added some more charcoal, smudged it together, and after I was satisfied, I signed off the drawing, and then I erased the bottom half of the page and the top half because it was looking a little bit messy. And of course I cleaned my desk, which as you can see was a bit of a process. And now it's time for the satisfying tape peeling because it's time for the grand reveal. And here's how our final drawing turned out. Here is our tiger. I'm pretty proud of it and I love it. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you've watched this far, make sure to comment this emoji down below. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you all in the very next video. Bye!